Good afternoon, gentlemen. It is good to be back with you. I'm not sure how much person is on just now, but we are expecting a few. We might not have a full host today, but it's always good to be in the position to have that kind of conversation, with each other. And so it's important that despite or in spite of whoever is here, yes, that we do what we need to do. Yes. Again, it's Mancave. The Mancave podcast is live, and of course, this season we were looking to look back at some of the stuff that we intended to do last season. To be quite frank, the season has been long, and so we're just trying to deal with some matters and to catch up. But we understand that the world don't stop, and the world is not waiting on everybody. And so there are new issues to contend with. There are new issues to contend with, and it's good when men can sit down and have these conversations among ourselves. Yes, to look at all of the issues that are contending. Craig was he was in the studio recently, but I know he would have gone over to the live. So shout out to Craig. Anybody else there can just give us a shout out as well. So we can, let us know who is there, who is out there. Let me use the opportunity to look back at some of the things that we looked at last time. And, these are important matters. And so, I'm a little teleprompter, my phone has become everything. And so it's important. But yes, let's look back at some stuff. Some of the topics that we need to deal with, some of the topics that we have to deal with, because they're still happening. Some of the topics that would have morphed into something even more detrimental and obviously we need to address with somewhat urgency. So of course we do have the issue of abuse, sexual abuse, sex relationship. We look at the evolution of relationships and the impact of manhood versus male. We look at longevity and of course efficiency. We look at man being obsolete. We look at we didn't look at transhumanism in the way that we would want, because we want to get into the nitty-gritty, the essence of it, what it is, what it represents, and the impact that it will have on our relationships as individuals. Look at redefine the roles of males and female and its impact on the psychology, and the psychology and masculinity. We got man versus manhood, vision, focus, purpose, mental issues. We look at suicide and murder, suicide, sex being transactional and the impact of on the psyche, women and domination, men being abusive and why, the role in their heads and not being trained by their fathers. That means society would have trained them. They would have gotten information from social media rather than the fathers, rather than from the church fathers, which is very important. We have had this issue for a very long time, and we have basically examined and come to a conclusion that the church have a very significant role to play in this particular effort. Yes, we can't leave the training of our men or boys to social media, nor to government, nor to any other social system except the family. And therefore the family must have the right values in order to impart the right values to the young men, for us to have a more orderly society. It's important to understand that while the Bible does not diminish women, despite what people want to say, men have their role and women have their role. If we look back at Genesis, when the Lord came to visit and he realized something was wrong, he didn't call upon the woman, because we understand that men have a responsibility and he has a role to play. And God called him because he was missing from that role. It wasn't that the woman was diminished. No, she is co-regent. She is helpmate. She is one who have her own responsibility, which sometimes is separate and apart and different from the men role and responsibility. We understand that people are trying to level the playing field, but I think the thinking behind some of that idea is wrong. Yes, And so we're not going into that today, but it's something that we will look at, something that we need to look at in order to get the thing going, and in order to ensure that at the end of the day, we are where we need to be as men. And being a man, we need to understand that we are talking about Christian men. Our ethos and our guiding principle is rooted in the Bible. And so that's what we are about. We're not about domination, because enough people don't understand. This is not about domination. This is not about power. Yes, because the only power that is good for us to have is the power to empower. Hallelujah. Yeah, man, that's the truth. The only power that really matters is the power to empower. If we cannot empower people, then it don't make any sense. If we don't empower people, that means we're not powerful. We have become brutal, and what it means that we have become domineering, and we can add all the other labels to it. However, the only power that we desire to have as men is to empower those with whom we have relationships. And that's not just your wife and children. That is everybody to whom you interface. That's every human person that is on the earth that we need to interface with, because no man is an island. Don't forget that. And no man stand alone. There's a lie that they have told us, and we have grown up believing it. And so this lie about being independent. What does being independent mean? Nothing on this earth is independent. Everything on this earth is interdependent. Independence is a figment of our imagination. As a matter of fact, it's probably a term coined by our colonial masters in order to give us this idea that we are free, when in truth and in fact, we are still bonded to them. And so we want people to understand that we are interdependent. Every ecosystem on this world is interdependent. We are interdependent on the ecosystem that we live in. And there are several subsets to that ecosystem that allow us to live and to continue to live and move on our being. That's how God made it. It's beautiful. To be quite frank, when you think about the thought that has gone into the creation process, yes, the making of man, the making of women, you understand me? The world and everything that's in it. The scripture give us an answer to that. Our religious disposition give us an answer to that. And so we understand that there must be one who is more powerful than we are. There must be one who is super intelligent, because everything that has a design, everything that has structure comes from an intelligent disposition. It comes from an intelligent disposition. And so if it has design and order, it cannot be random. Yes, we are not random. We are not random people who just decide to happen. We are not one cell amoebas without a brain who decide that we need 2 foot and 2 hands to live on earth. You know what I mean? So the theory of evolution has been dash smash, and we should basically just decide not to write it in any new book. It shouldn't be a part of our conversation. It should be really a mistake that we made long ago, and we have gone ahead to correct such. But that is what it's all about. Yes. And so we as the people of God right now, what are we doing? We are trying to create a system and a society that will keep us close to God, that will keep us in the know, that will keep us purpose driven and focused. And as men, we have a role to play. We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to understand ourselves. Many times man think them understand when we don't understand. Yes, I think last time we looked at it, and we'd have asked a question: what's the 10 most important thing to a woman? What are the 10 most important thing to a man? And enough people couldn't answer that question. Yes, and so we're looking at some of those issues again. How do men operate in the home and society? Are men fathering their children? If they are, what are the children being taught? Because fathering also involves teaching, inculcating, yes, modeling, yes, becoming an example. That is what men ought to be doing. Men fear becoming the warriors they need to be. Why? The supportive role of community in their becoming, because we need to understand that as men, as protectors of our home, yes, usually, well, in the African socio-cultural disposition, that's how it goes. You become a warrior, and the community, the tribe, help to father you, yes, to teach you, to train you, to mentor you, yes, and so you can become the man that you are intended to be, one who can protect his home, one who can provide for his home, and so on and so forth, and so on. All the values of the tribe will be inculcated in the person. So that is part and parcel of how, we model and we go forward. We will find, and you will find, that a number of some of those most important ideas and ideals have been dashed, have been smashed, have been taken out of the remit and excommunicated from the conversation. Yes, new narratives are now taking place, and those new narratives have not served us very well. And so we're looking into, that men fear becoming the warriors, the protectors that they need to be. The supportive role of community in their becoming is also non-existence. Yes, divorcing themselves from stereotype and becoming who God say they are, because those are important things for us, very important things for us as men, if we want to move forward and if we want to make it happen for us. Now, there are some things that we just want to have this kind of conversation. I'm sorry that we can't have some people asking some questions so we can look at some of those issues and just try to just work through. We're going to do a more structured approach to each of the topics that we feel are very important and critical to us at this time. And so we will do that in another podcast. But we just want to get to know we just want to just shoot the breeze right now, so that you can understand exactly what we're about and the things that we're looking into. Many years ago, a few years ago, we were told that men need to be softer and men need to show their feminine side. To be quite frank, I don't think men are feminine side. Men are masculine and women are feminine, and that's what it is. I think that started a kind of avalanche that has ended up, with the ruin of some. And so we want men to know that you can be gentle, yes, but being gentle don't mean that you're feminine, yes. Being understanding don't mean you're feminine, okay. Being rational and accommodating and so on don't mean you're feminine. And so we want men to understand fully who they are. And it's important. We live in a society that have embraced a secular humanist disposition. Yeah. Good afternoon, my good sir. Yes, bless you. And so secular humanist society embrace the full gamut of everything that is out there. They think that they have to live with all of this, and they think that they have to accommodate all of this. So different kind of arrangements for family is also important for them, So we move from, the father, mother, and children. We move from the extended family where grandparents are involved to help to grow and, rear those persons. Then we have a broken kind of family, because although we call it single parent family, it is a broken family. And we will bring the evidence of the inefficiency of that kind of arrangement in another podcast, because we want to show that what the research is saying about those things. So the single parent family is not the most efficient family. Yes, any family with mother and father, grown up children in that particular union, the research will show that those children do better than many of those from the single parent household. So that is important. That's something that we need to look at. And so it's important that even when we decide to get married, even when we decide to have relationships and have a spouse and so on, it's important that we choose wisely. Yes, that is something that I think we have not discussed sufficiently, but it's something that we need to do. We need to choose wisely when it comes to a partner. Your partner can bring you to ruin. Yes, your partner can bring you to ruin, and you need to understand that. So if you have somebody who is not in the same space with you, on the same wavelength with you, they're unequally yoked, then I'm telling you, they can bring you to ruin. If we're not thinking in the same way and working towards the same objective and goal, they can bring you to ruin. They can destroy the family, tear the very fabric of family apart. And that goes for men as well as women. And so we need, for all of us, to work through the process and to come to a full understanding as to what it is that we are what we need to do as men. It's very important, very, very important. And so as we go forward, yes, as we go forward, as I said, there are those numbers of other things that we need to have a conversation about, and we want to have those conversations with you. It's important that we do, and of course, we will accommodate. Yeah, it's a simple maths. You know what I mean? You are here for us, and we are here for you, and that's all that we need. Yes, that's all that we need. In recent times, what we have found, and I'm trying to find some little documents that I would have downloaded, because I want it for those to have the kind of, we want to have the kind of conversation that we need to have in order to fully, appreciate what we're about. As men, we cannot just get up every day. And if you have something, if you have a comment, you can just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, it will come up, and we can address same, we can work through some of those issues. But today is just a talking day. We're just talking together. It's just been a while. I'm not sure how much person is on, but we want to look at some of those issues again, and we hope that all our friends are on. We hope that our deacon Jermaine would find the time to be on as well. And I tell you something, sure, when we have this man cave and we have the conversation, a whole lot of wives are there. And I'm happy that wives are there, because I think sometimes they learn a whole lot from us. And we might just learn a whole lot from them as well. And so it's important that we understand, we understand, how this thing works. So for the two that are on, bless you, sirs. If you have something that's put up in the chat, let us know, and we will, address those even in our conversations. Now, if you want to the conversations go in a particular direction, you may let us know as well, so that we can have that kind of conversation. Today, I said it's a chatting day. Man, not sit down and reason. Yeah, today's a reasoning day. Yeah, and you can share the link as well. Just share the link to other persons who you know might be interested in having this kind of conversation. It's important. And so as we share the link, there's just a whole lot of stuff for us to do. And we will do it. That's what we're here for, to answer some questions and to do some marvelous work, you know what I mean? And those work are important. It's important. Very important for us. Let me see. I say there are a number of things that we would have looked at. I would have put together just to have a kind of conversation. Yes. And so I want us to understand fully, what is happening and what is it that we need to happen. Yeah, what needs to happen. Social media is not a place where men should reside for a very, very long time. No. You can learn a lot from social media, but social media also presents a lot of things that don't make sense. Yes? It also presents that kind of thing. And so what I want us to do is to can't tell how to live your life, but we should spend our time deliberately doing some things that can move us to the next level. So everything you do, you should be deliberate about it. Yes, deliberate about it. What are your thoughts on men and social media? Yes, that's important. If we are teaching men, if we are putting out good stuff, if we are, if we are informing them, if we are sharing our experience, you understand me? It will be good. Yes, it will be good. Because that is what men do. We share experience. Many persons have never been to a bar, because we think that bar, is that's what it is. It's bars, like a prison. You understand me? But bars are places where people get to socialize. Many Christians don't go in there, so those people in the bar will never hear about Jesus. If you go in the bar, you'll hear men speak about their shortcomings. You'll hear men speak about the troubles that they have at their homes. You'll hear men speak about their own issues and weaknesses. You'll hear men speak about things that you're not going to hear them talk about at them home. Because many of them, when them go home, them silent. Because the bottom line, they're already separated from the house. You wonder why some man play domino till 11 o'clock at night? So when they reach home, you have to talk to nobody. You have to have a long discussion Even if you have a talk with anybody, I beat him down and tell him, say, yo, you know, you want this and we need this in a day and ray. Him don't want that kind of conversation. And so what he does is that he spends his time doing other things and having the conversation with other persons. But you know, say if two drunken men in a bar and I'm talk with them life and so on, very often you might not find the next drunken man giving him sound advice. Yeah, you know, the drunken man might give him advice, but not sound advice. The drunken man might give him advice based upon his own drunken disposition, because he might go through the same thing, you know, and he might say, boy, yeah, but can't buy that tonight, let's have this way, and blah, 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 blah. And it's lit two more domino, you know. Give me an extra round of drink, like, give me an extra round of drink. Because some of them don't have the wherewithal, them don't have the depth, them don't have the kind of skill sets to look into, to dissect, to deconstruct a problem and to recognize how to solve it. In recent time, what I find though in this society in Jamaica here, which is a sad thing, very, very sad thing. Very, very, you know, I should share this thing with somebody else. And just give me a second. I should share this thing with somebody else. Part of the challenge that we have is this. Yes? That's true. That is true. That is true. Getting off from chest. But that's the first part, you know. That the people understand, you know. The first part of solving any problem is to belch it off. Let's get it off. You know, first go through it and say, ray, blah, 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 blah. And then, because guess what? You have to shoot the breeze in order to leave the space to get the advice. All right. What I find happening in recent time is this. The society has changed. The society has almost flipped. Most people don't recognize it, but society almost flipped. So women have totally dominate the middle class structure and middle management structure. It's dominated by women. The male figure in that have been almost decimated. And what's happening is that the women are becoming more qualified, so they are now feeding up into the CEO positions. And so they are doing that, yes? We're just talking. I want us to understand, today is just a talk. We're sharing today, understanding today. We're going to do a more structured approach in the next, next posting, so we can work through some issues in a very structured and sequential way. But we're just having the conversation today because there's a lot of things that we were to deal with last time that we didn't deal with. And so we just come this season 2 now, which took a long time to reach here because there's just so much other things to do. But we figure it's necessary and it's needed at this time to just work through those issues. But for now, we're just having some conversations. And I'm just putting some things on the table because these are important matters. So part of the challenge is men in particular are extremely angry. Now what I say, man, I go on, man, extremely angry. When men are happy, they do different things. What we find that men are extremely angry. And it is now spilling over because they are not doing anything to deal with those matters. Yes? So if a man bad drive your road, you just tell him your mind and send him where he needs to go. And if you push come the shove and you strap and him strap, we just pop off and, may the best man win. That kind of thing is happening all the time. It is now spilling over into our families. It's now spilling over into what we're doing. Yes, how we are having that relationship with our wives. It's impacting that now as well. So because we are hungry and we're triggered and we're going and the wife something we don't like, boom, we're just gone. Put a tangent, we're gone. It's an avalanche of emotions and anger that is pent up and built up. Some of it might be provoked. Not from your wife necessarily, but because you're wind up from the street, you're wind up from the workplace, and you come home where you expect to get some peace and respite, and you don't find that sometimes. What you do, it is now, projecting it on somebody else. But there's also the issue of, okay, there's something that basically has gotten under my skin and so on. But also, our own inadequacies, are also impacting our relationships. And we have to be, listen, we have to be very clear, we have to be very firm, we have to be very truthful to ourselves. Yeah, man. We have to. And if we're not that, then something is going to be radically wrong, because we will never be able to solve the problem. Now, women are more qualified than men at this time. Women are doing much more than men even right now at this time. They're organizing their lives, and their lives are would seem to be almost perfect. Yes? They're going to the gym, they're doing this, they're doing extra, they're going back to school, they're doing whatever. They're doing everything that is necessary for them to reach to the next level. And they're doing it irrespective of you care. You can't stop from doing it, right? And what that means is that some women are more financially stable. They are compensated better than men. Yes? And so if you are like a man from the 60s or 70s, the 80s, early 80s, then you would say, boy, no, man, a man for take care of more, and man for take care of all, man for take care of everything. When we go out, man feel us, yo, money is supposed to be our object. We feel us, we just spend the money and thing, Let me read this. My thoughts: men and social media have a complicated relationship. It can be empowering, yes, but it can also be damaging depending on how it is used. And you are exactly right, But this is also part of the challenge, because when we look at social media with some people excelling, with some people succeeding, with some people driving, Lamborghini and Ray, all the new cars are in Jamaica, the Porsche and everything in Jamaica, yes? Some people are bringing them in, and we are seeing these people because they're no answer that, and they're not saying, yo, see me new right, Ray, blah, 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 blah. They have money, so they are, that kind of thing. Enough man started feeling inadequate. Because whooper ladies are doing that right now. Whooper ladies are also driving their dream cars, living in their dream houses, doing their dream jobs, and they have more money than they can spend. Them really not feel. Them can't do anything. We can take a fly out and come back in the month, and we not feel it. That means we not struggle to pay the bills them at the end of the month because we are dealing with it. And people might say them have different streams of income, which might mean another man. Yes. But that's not even the point. The point, though, is they have organized themselves in such a way that they can now benefit from those things. And if they can benefit from those things, it means their lives are more structured than our lives. It means that they are more structured than us. It means that they're doing more than us. And they're doing these things, and it's important that when we realize that, listen, we are not supposed to be in competition. This is really not a competition. And that's a part of life that most people miss. It is not a competition. If you have a spouse and a partner, we're working together. It is not a competition. So we are not in a competition, yes, with each other. We're not in a competition to say who can make the most money and all these things. Yes? So that is part of the problem. Social media give men space to express emotions, creativity, and opinion in ways that traditional culture sometimes discourage. Men can talk about mental health, faith, fatherhood, and fitness. But I go further. I will go further. Let me tell you. It gives them the space. But the fact of the matter, sometimes when we talk anonymous, like we're afraid. I am not anonymous. I am me, and I can talk about any issue that I face, including my own weaknesses and my own challenges. Some people hide behind the social media to do that. And so it's okay when you're incognito. But I'm suggesting to you that as men, sometimes we need to step out. People need to know. It's like in church. Everybody in church holy and righteous. Everybody in church perfect. Don't it? But you and I know that that's not so, because you and I are not perfect. You and I do come short all the time, Just leave church and a man by driving with a swaffling 2 stone. You know what I mean? And we triggered rare because for whatever reason. But the bottom line is, it's the same principle. It's the same principle. Yes? We are individuals. We are part and parcel of the same root, because people have a tendency to forget that all of us are connected one way or the other. We might not share the same mother and father, but if Adam and Eve was the first parent, yes, then it means that we have a common root somewhere if we go far enough back. As well as we are here. And every single person takes a breath out of who God is. Yes? We take a breath out of who God is. Every breath you take is a part of God. The Bible says, when he made us from the earth, God blew into our nostrils and we became living souls. Blew what? Breath, life into us. And we take that breath, how much time, every time, how much time a day? How much time a minute? For all our life? For the count your mother woman, put your butt out. Ah! Yeah, we have been taking that breath. And we have been using that breath. And we'll use it until the last breath expire out of our body and none come back in. And so we have common ground, yes? But again, while it gives you a space to be creative and all of those things, yes, it even gives you a space to make some money. And that's why I keep wondering, why is it that some of us are not making more money when we have this platform? Yes, yeah. Yes, build brand, promote business, which is what we need to use to do. Yes, it's important that we use to do that. But building brand and promoting business and all that is only one part of the man. It's only one part of the human experience. Yes, it's only one part of human experience. No man use other things though. No man use social media for look on pornography, for dating sites, for do all my some people use scamming and all these things too. So social media in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's the use of social media. And that's why we come back now to the idea of being deliberate. Anything you do, you must be deliberate. You must be very deliberate in what you do. If you use social media, be deliberate in how you use it. Yes? The social media has also become, what do you call it now? An addiction. Most people know. If you look at the definition of addiction, you know, most people are addicted to their phone. Most people can't go without checking them phone every 5 minutes. Worse, if you post something, I think people need to like it. Most people now put all of their effort into being liked. And I don't know why. Given the fact that half of the people on social media, I don't even know them. If you appear public, half of the people don't know you and you don't know them. So why you care about what them think? You don't know them and they don't know you. So why is it that you care about what them think about you? You see me, I go, but some people care what them think about them. I mean, I said, but why though? Listen, if you can't keep up with the friends you have right in front of your meeting every day, how are you going to keep up with 100,000 people? Tell me, how are you going to please? Yes, 100,000 somebody. How are you going to please? Yes, another 100,000 somebody. How are you going to please those persons? Because that is part of the problem too. How do we please those people? How do we please them? How do we move from where we are to where we want to be? Yes, how do we get to that place and that space? That is part and parcel of the thing and the issues. That's part of the issue. We can't assume. We can't assume. We can't assume. We can't assume. That, you know, that we have to just know that, listen, we are in a space and a place where we have to work through our process. We're in a space and a place where we have to know definitively, yes, who we are, what we're about. And we can't get caught up with 1 million followers, half of whom don't know you, half of whom they never walk your walk. They don't know nothing about your culture. They must do it. And if you do something crazy, them like it, you know, and all of those things, those are issues that we have to work with, though. And those are issues that we have to work through. You know, are you more interested in pleasing 1 million followers, yes, than you are pleasing the few that you can interface with on a personal level? Who is more important to you? The people who are close to you will tell us that this is wrong, or the people may like when we do mad things on the internet so we can make some money and get some likes. You wonder why people do crazy things on the internet? Because the crazier thing you do on the internet is the more like you get, and the more hit you get, you know, and the more hits you get. So, what do we use internet to do? What do we use social media to do as men? Do we empower each other? Do we empower each other? Do we build value, like family values? Yes? Do we do that? Do we push family values? Do we push what we call functional things? Like for example, if we know how to use the internet to make money, how much man know how to use the internet to make money? And how much of those men teach other men? They don't understand. So your family, you find it hard. Your family, and you find something that you can, that can help you to manage. And you don't teach nobody else. You keep it as your gatekeeper, and you keep it to yourself. How all that benefits you and your family? While 100,000 man go hungry. I think that we need to stop gatekeep. Because the pie is big enough for everybody to eat. And so it's social media we're talking about, So there are so much things we can do with social media. But we need to use it to build value, build relationships, inform, lift up, encourage, help a man to understand who he is and how he can basically navigate the space and the issues that he faces on a day-to-day basis. How much man can find a wife? Is it that we have a wife shortage? And why is that our parents have to ask people to come home from have some baby? And that in and itself have a open ramification now. Because this is not cattle. We're not rearing cattle, nor livestock. We are not cattle or livestock. We're just bringing some broodstock, and the broodstock just breed everybody. No. We are not like a Egyptian ram here, bringing him, and you have some she goat, and you have some nanny goat, and you must breed up all nanny goat them. And because we have mixed breed and so on, the meat get better. No, that's not, no. So even an approach like that, have a challenge me. It sounds ridiculous, it sounds curious, it sounds wrong. Because for us to build any kind of society, for men to take the rightful place in society and to build a society and build a society that is accountable and productive and growing, it means that we have to have families, not just relationship, not just one night stands. Yes, not just hit and runs. We don't need hit and run. That is cricket. You hit the ball and run. That's not the lifestyle. You understand me? And you might get pregnant, like a happenstance or an accident. No, that's not how it is. So even at the head of this country, we need to have a conversation. And if anybody wants to share the link with him, too, can share the link with him, because we can talk about this all day. You understand me? But that is not what it's about. It's not what it's about. You understand me? I say it's not about birth rate. No, it's about building a society and building a society right. If people are happy and their relationships are growing and things are moving in the right direction and there are opportunities and so on, people have children. If there's fear and selfishness, which we have right now, which the Bible told us would take place, then we will not have children. It's not about us being happy, by ourselves every day of life, because we still need people to clean the hotels. We still need people to fix up the place. We still need to cook the food. We still need people to sweep the road, to fix the road, to drive the buses. We know that, but it's not just about rearing people for that. And so sometimes when I think about it, I think we have been placed in a matrix and we have never broken the box. We have never broken out of this matrix. It's not about going to work at 8:30 and leaving at 5. It's not about that. It's not about us like automaton, everybody on the road to reach work at 8:30 and everybody on the road leaving at 5 o'clock to go home. No, we have been sold a lie, and we have been sold an idea. We have been captivated. We have been brainwashed to believe that is life. And so we have to, as men, we have to reimagine what God requires of us. We have to reimagine it. We have to reimagine how to make it happen, how to make it work in the best interest of our family. We have to reimagine it. Society must be reimagined. And the politicians can't do it, because the politician is not a leader. The politician is a man who wants to regain state power 5 years from now. He's not a leader. He's not thinking about the next generation. He's not talking about what's beneficial for the next generation. He's talking about what's beneficial now, so that enough money can come in the coffers so they can do what they want to do and pay themselves and do all these things. This is Jamaican thing too. But the fact of the matter is, they're not thinking about next generation. They don't have the dreams that we have. And half the things that we want to do right now is almost obsolete. Because life is so difficult and life is so set and life is so predictable in this country that we live. You know what happened? Some people never leave a job. So them go into and get it, them get this until them old and retire. Can have a look at pension. Because there's no other way for them to make no money. That is a problem. Think about it. Think about it. We go to school, they never teach a business school. I recently never teach a business in high school. When we go to school, they never teach a business. They prepared us to work for the people. They prepared us to work either for government or private sector. So our qualification was to fix us so we can basically fit into a private sector for profit mode or a public sector mode. That is what that's how we were taught. In recent times, I talk about entrepreneurship and so on. And even that is limited. The internet has changed that. The birth rate cannot be encouraged by the state. The birth rate will be encouraged by the well-being of the individual in the country. When the family is fixed, then people have children. When the family is happy, people have children. Government have no right to talk about birth rate, increasing birth rate when they want to legalize abortion. That doesn't make any sense. As I said to somebody recently, and I can bring up the stats too. We were talking about abortion, and I said to the person, you know, I am not pro-abortion. I am not pro-abortion. And the person asked me why, and I told the person. You know what I mean? And the person said to me, why? And you know, if I'm pro-life, I said yes. He said, well, look how people are orphans and these things and so on and so forth and so on. And I said to him, yeah, but I hear you, but how much babies have we, you know, aborted? Yes? And I went and share it, because I think I'll take a picture of it. Let me try to find. And let's just do this let's do 1 year, since January 2026, right? Yeah, and when I said that to him, the man rushed me. The man rushed me. Yes? And I was a little bit, you know, I was upset. Obviously I'm upset. I'm like, yo, bro, what you deal with so? You know, and so when I think about it, so I'm saying, okay, government thinking about abortion, legalize abortion, but yet still you want to bring in some man so we can increase the birth rate. Like it's a cattle. This is my body like a pen. I bring in 2 bull. I have 2 bull and I bring in some cow for this service. That's not how we build family. Let me share some with you. This is according to the World Health Organization and the data aggregated by Worldometer, right? Worldometer. Approximately 73 million induced abortion occur worldwide each year. 73 million. Jamaica and that, and you see how much Jamaica did. So 73 million induced abortion occur worldwide each year. These statistics compounds to roughly 200,000 abortion per day. Yes? As of early 2026, the data remains the standard global estimate for annual induced abortion. And I don't even want to go in that because it's graphic, but we are men, so we should be able to understand. So it's a leading cause of death due to the high volume. Abortion is often cited in 2025-26 data report as the leading cause of death worldwide. Yes, not war, not famine, not coronavirus, not flu, not AIDS, not gonorrhea, not syphilis, not cancer, not mental illness, not diabetes, but abortion. Abortion. Yes, leading cause of death. The daily rate, 200,000 occur daily, and this is an estimate, and it's a conservative estimate. Context. These figures represent estimates 39 per 1,000, 39 abortion per 1,000 women aged between 15 and 49 annually. Safety. Who notes that around 45% of all abortion worldwide are unsafe? 45% of the 73 million per year is unsafe. The data uncertainty, while 73 million is the frequently cited annual figure, some analysts range it between 67 million and 82 million based on varying global estimates. So it could be more than that. That's abortion statistics. I was looking at what happened since 2026 to know January 1, but I'm not seeing it on the World Health Organization thing. And some of these are done without the fathers knowing. Yeah. But of course, Sergi, but but it must be. If we're killing 73 million people, Craig, if we're killing 73 million people, 200,000 a day, we must have an aging population. It means that all our young people dead before them reach 5, before them even come out of the womb. Because no people don't understand what a partial birth abortion is, which is an induced situation. Sometimes them allow you to carry the baby full term, and what they do is to inject the baby in them head, use a big syringe and suck out the brain, and so the baby dies. So when you push out the baby, push out the corpse. And that's acceptable in some spaces. And we don't understand what that do to the psyche of a people, of a nation. It means that children don't have a value. It means that life has been devalued. It means that those of us who are alive believe that only we have the right to be here. It's like we don't understand why we are here. We don't understand when Jesus said, multiply and replenish the earth. They don't understand that that's a part of our process. They don't understand that. They don't understand that that's a part of how the system continues. They don't understand that. And not our system. That's how God designed this thing. So some of us have more than enough. More than enough. And them could give everybody upon this earth the 7.6 billion away. We could have it on the earth. 7.6 billion of us could be on the earth, and guess what? And we get something to make our life change. And the person who give it still no move. Elon Musk can bless everybody upon this earth. Even Bill Gates and some other people that have more money than them can spend in a lifetime. Regarding how we are educated, they don't teach financial literacy in school. That is so true, my brother. Yet complain when people make bad financial. This is so true. You don't learn about investment. You don't learn that saving is a must. I mean, I want to save really. Enough people understand. There's a principle to saving that we miss it when we were growing up because we weren't taught it. Most people, if you go to church, you get church to a tenth of your salary. You know, so if you save a tenth of your salary from your start work to know where you would be. You know, some people even do more rigorous than that. Some people save at least a third of them salary. And some people go even 50% of them salary. So that is being saved constantly. And out of that saving, to a certain level, it's going to investment. It go into investment. And so over time, what you find, people investment start to pay them more than them salary. So what you get from the investment is more than your salary. And you have people who live that way. Their investment pay them every month, and it is more than them salary. But them don't teach us how to invest. And some of us don't want to invest. Like, a man said, no, man, I just $5 get. Listen, if you get $5 and you have to eat your $5, it means that you have ate your seed. If you get $5, you can't save you $1 out of your $5. It means that the seed gone. That come like you have an orange and you want some orange tree. So your orange seed, the orange give about 20 seed. And you just name the seed them. So you can plant by the seed them to get back an orange tree 2 years, 3 years down the line. That means you will never ever have an orange tree. What you will have to do is to use your $5 by orange. When you could have some orange tree, if you sell some orange too, if you so desire. But again, as our brother said, them don't teach you investment. Financial literacy is not a part of it. However, in recent times, I think the United Nations put out a document about 5 or 10 years ago. Some of us don't see it because it's not widely known, and then some of us don't know where to go to get these documents. And part of that document suggests that the new, what we call Gen Z, that Gen Z must learn several kind of literacy. It's not just a count and a read and write. They must be culturally literate. They must be financially literate. They must be IT literate. They must be whatever, some other literacy. But financial literacy is part of it. So there are different kinds and categories of literacy that they're no saying that we should have, we must have, and guess what? And the colleges and the universities must teach this. Now, if you work in a specialized institution like I do, you realize that sometimes when you're talking about these things, it is lost upon even the head of entities. Those who run the entity don't even think about these things. Those who run the entity don't even understand that we don't want to put people out there. Like I work in an arts institution, and I tell people there should be no more starving artists. No. If athletes never starve, then artists never starve. Usain Bolt spent years to set the world record. Years. He said about 3 for the canter. But 9.58 is the standard. Everybody try to run that down and can't reach it yet. And Usain Bolt, for years, Usain Bolt are running, years in my chain for reach that the goal there. It take him less than 10 seconds. You understand what I want? Less than 10 seconds for run. When run 9.58, less than 10 seconds. That has set him on a trajectory. He can't broke again first time in life. Him get all these deals, he must sign these all over the place, and him gone a business now. He must set him business systems up and must build the building and rent them out and so on and so forth. Him can't broke again first time in life. So artists now who can put out a record. One man, I remember speaking to a lawyer. He was doing a presentation and he said, listen, a man wrote a song like a little jingle many years ago, about 20 years ago. And he put it on, doing copyright and so and put it on, I think YouTube or one of them thing. And a company doing an ad heard the jingle and said, yo, them can use this. Them call him, have a conversation with him, ask him if he want to sell them the right to use the jingle. He said yes. He make $1 million US off it. No, at the time, the US, like $1 million US, I'd be like 120 million Jamaican. So, 20 years for him thing now, so nothing. 20 years. And a jingle where, 3-minute jingle, where him just write and put up, probably him never have the kind of skills that him have now, you know. Then, and them said them want it. Overnight, he became a multi-millionaire. I think the lawyer take about 20 million off it, but him get 100 million. Put it that way. You see me go? So the thing is set in such a way, but we don't know these things. How much we write all kind of something and just put it down? How much we write all kind of something else and people use up a thing and we not copyright and do nothing? The people in the States, the first world country, everything copyright. I've been a year when they want copyrighted. So them building it efficacy themselves, and not only that, but they're also making money how money is to be made. That's what's happening. No, what we are proposing to do on the Man Cave, because we're going to look at that thing. We actually run out of time right now, but we're going to field a few more questions and we're going to share some of you. What we are proposing is this. People have been hearing about Bitcoin. To be quite frank, I heard about Bitcoin from way back in the early 2000s. At that time, I can tell you, at that time, if I had followed my good friend, I don't want to call him name because he should be on this thing too. I don't know why I'm not here. Good Fortis man, you understand me? But if I followed his advice, I would have spent about $200 on some Bitcoin. Yes. Yes, that is so true. And I'm spending $200 on some Bitcoin. In which case it will be $10. $10 coin. Now Bitcoin last year hit 100,000. Listen, Bitcoin hit 100,000 to 1 last year now. Yes. That's exactly true. 100,000 to 1. People overnight became billionaires. Some people in Jamaica too became billionaires. You understand me? I say, I'll be an iron vehicle. Because these young people, them like iron vehicles. Me not in the hope of iron vehicle. Give me a tough truck we can take on St. Thomas Road and Portland Road and these roads without brought down our suspension mash up. That's a vehicle that I want. But everybody have all kind of bossy vehicle and sitting and thing and my car. All kind of something come down. But check this out. If I had followed the advice of my Fortis friend, yes, I would have been a millionaire today. Even at 60, I think at $63, Bitcoin is about $63,000 right now. Even at $63,000, at $10 one, $200 worth at $10 one, will I be a millionaire right now? But see again, we never financially savvy, we never and we're risk averse and all these things. So those things become part of a challenge. But we can change the dynamics. You're never too old. We can change the dynamics. And as men, this is what we're going to push for this season. And the next, we're pushing not just changing our modus operandi as we operate as men, but we want to change our mindset and our focus. Men should make money and men should take care of their families. To be quite frank, if you don't want your wife to work, you should be earning sufficient so that you don't have to work and that she will get, basically you'll pay her. I know men who pay their wives like it's work, as housework is work, and that different from them house money. Some of you can't afford to do that, but that's how it should be. To be quite frank, when men worked and women were home and we raised solid families. We raised solid families. Families were solid. As a matter of fact, some women made their men rich, although men were working. It was the women who invested. It's the women who determined how the budget should spend. It's the women who ran the house, and they were efficient at it. They were very efficient at it, and many of them made us rich. As most people who went to England to work in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, most of them, when they came back to what they never leave here. They leave a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom house with 2 and 3 and 4 picnic. And when they came out, they saw big houses with 5, 6 rooms and all kind of stuff. And wife would have buy land and all these things. And so they came back to better lives. They could rest. They and the wife lives until them old and rock on them rocking chair. Because the decisions we make now are the decisions that will frame our lives going forward. Men, it is time to rethink, recast, refocus, and to be deliberate in what we do. We're going to take a few questions before we sign off. We have completed an hour. And it's important that we take a few. We have had a number of comments from the men, which is so true. So true. Craig and my other brother would have made, something. And those are the things, men, yeah. Intellectual property is key. Yes, my good sir. Even if the idea doesn't make sense, to be honest, because the idea would make sense when certain variables come together, It's like I tell people all the time, like everything can work provided the environment and the opportunity come together. And some things that we thought were stupid, right now making people money. First time when they make cassava, when they make cassava, they make bunny. We have some big bummy so the bummy they make big so. And then somebody said, "No man, if you ever use bummy as hors d'oeuvre, them even small and bite size and these things." And then them start make some bummy little so. They make like cracker size bummy and some little smaller bummy. So if you make hors d'oeuvres now, yeah, I mean, like you're having a big function and you do all them ackee and stuff, so like a bummy, but like a bummy and thing, and you know, the little way we call it, you know, Solomon and gun up on the little bummy and thing and Ray and sitting and thing, and people, nice. Yeah, so this mouthful is yeah, I know a big thing you have cut up in a 4 and Ray. No, I'm thinking of soaking a coconut milk and see something and the chef just fix him up nice. The person who had that idea before, you know, people laugh and say, "No man, you can't make bummy so small. What kind of foolish is that? Can we use some big old bummy big like we had? Like we use some bulla. See the bulla, some bulla you have is like LP. Bulla holding like 45. I know some of you I don't know these things. But what we call bulla, yo, some big bulla, some of them round, some of them square. Yes, and we used to, yo, mash up bananas with a pear. Yeah. When pear season come and bulla, yo, bulla take with themselves quick, because pear and bulla go together. Until the people get wise and people say, "No man, want some bulla bits." So there's only a bite-sized bulla now. Say, "Gone." That's how I say. If a pear, you cut a pear, put like a scrape on that. You know, easy to eat and quickly. So you start looking at that and say, wow. You know, the idea might sound stupid, no. But when the time is right, that idea will fit right into the perfect place. And if it's your intellectual property, remember, tell us, you will have your day. You'll have your day. And so we're encouraging men. Listen, there are several ways we can do some things, and we're looking at teaching, because we're going to do about 2 or 3 workshops. We're planning that, and we're going to invite you to those workshops. We're going to have a workshop. Crypto Jamaica is offering some courses. We're going to invite him to have a conversation with us. No man, whoop a little bulla, man. Another one. That whole bag of bulla, you know, whatever small, you know, bite size. It's so true, you know. But we're going to invite Crypto Jamaica to do a presentation on the podcast, and of course we'll be running a few courses, or participating in a few courses with them, so that you can learn the system. No matter what we want to say, at some point in time, money will become, because to be quite frank, money is a figment of our imagination, you know. Because you have different things with value that worth more than money. The people don't realize that. But this is what we need. Men, and this is something that we want to push. We're pushing this. In your decision for relationship, you need to have a menu of things that you need to think about. Yes? We don't know everything, so we can't present everything. But we'll give you some guidelines based upon experience. Because some of us have won, and some of us have not won. Some of us have made several errors, but in the process, we'll have learned some things. 2, you need a portfolio. We want for all the men on this line to build a portfolio. And it says, listen, let me tell you. Let me invite my virgin to the. I don't think I'd sent him the link to this afternoon. When recently we were having a conversation, the man is saying, he said, all the dollars you have, all the silver, the dollars, I need it. And so we were giving him some dollars. I was looking for a bag of dollars for him. I said, "Where you want it for?" Him say, "We start buying some stocks and shares, you know." He said, "Yeah, man, look on the value of the stocks and shares, man. Look on the value of it. Some of them cheap. But over time, they will grow. Some of them cheap because some of the stocks, it's cyclical and seasonal. In the hotel industry, when the hotel is booming and it's full capacity, the values of those things go up. You can buy and sell and make money. You have people who get rich by the stock market. Yes? You have people get rich trading FX. Yes? Yeah, man. You have people get rich trading crypto. And we never want to get rich. I tell man, I don't want to get rich, you know. I just want to make sufficient money that my life is comfortable and I can bless. There's so much person that I need to bless. There's so much person that I know have needs that I need to answer for them. And if you help them to answer it, if your sister sick and she needs to do an operation, you can't depend on nobody else. You need to be able at some point in time to assist. Yeah, man. If your family member, you need to be able to assist. If you're a good friend, you understand me? People don't understand now, but that's how we should live. I can't live good and you will suffer. I can't buy belly full and you hungry. Thing can't work, so. So we want you to build. We want to help you to build a portfolio. Now, I can't give you financial advice because them come and lap me up. But we know people who can. And so we're going to invite those persons as well to the table so we can start building things. And part of it, and my brother said it earlier, is to be consistent. You have to be consistent in the things that you do. Yes? And you have to be consistent. And not just being consistent, but you see, come back to your mindset. You have to be deliberate. You build your portfolio, set a target. I want 50,000 shares in this company, and this company. Why? When you pay dividends collectively, I will get a return of X. I can lose, but the probability based upon what's happening now is that I will not lose. Yes? And not as Jamaica, we can now invest in other areas. We can now invest in other stock markets. And so we need to learn the system so that we can maximize our opportunities. Yes? Not only that, but I don't want us to lose our vision. We have an anchor. We have a center pole. We have something around which we revolve around these things. And that is Christ, our Lord. Men of God revolve around God. And I want you to know too that that is where we stop. This is where we stop. We stop right there, sir. Because the Lord can advise you on some matters. And if you follow through on the advice through the Holy Spirit, you will not lose. And so we are keeping focus. You know, we need to have some things because the Bible says money is the root of all evil, but the money also says money. Bible also says money answered many questions. There are some questions that we need to answer. Questions of need, questions of helping, questions of building. Yes, because remember saying, the greatest power to have is the power to empower people, not to beat down people, not to crush them spirit, but to empower them. Yes, and so that's what we're going to do this season. And of course, I don't want to be talking by myself. I want to engage some people. So we're going to invite some people into, our space from time to time. And so we can have that kind of deep conversation. There are some things about Bible too, but we need to discuss. Enough people read Bible, they don't understand the Bible fully. Like some people think that, okay, the human family is the only family that God has ever had. Yes? When God made this, what was there? The Bible talk about the angel. The Bible talk about Lucifer. The Bible talk about a pantheon of beings that the Lord interface with. Yes? We have to have those conversations because sometimes we talk about those things and when we read them in scripture, we kind of just shake off, you know what I mean? We kind of just go up on a deep end and we just think that is just allegory. It's not just allegory. There are some other things that we need to talk about. We need to talk about how to best work through our own relationships. Because your relationship will give problem, Everything will give problem. How do we work through this? What does the Bible say about this? What the Bible say about sex? What the Bible say about how we structure our home? How the Bible say we must teach our children? What are those things that we need to do in order to have a society that is crime riddled? How do we create a society that is not crime riddled? How do we take away the shine from criminals? How do we make people who indulge in criminal activities not have that shine? Because some people see the glamour of the criminal enterprise. Yeah, man, them see the old coming on. Say some bad man have the prettiest girl. Why though? Why? Why do women gravitate to men of a certain kind, even when it's not in the messages? What are we doing wrong? What are some what are those things? Those are the things we need to have a conversation about. And we're open. We don't know everything. So you bring what you know and I bring what I know, and we have a great conversation, and we come to some agreement on the things that we believe are in the best interest of the men of this nation and indeed the world, because our influence will undoubtedly spill over the edge. Yes. Any more statements? If not, then we're about to sign off. It's good to have the few men who are here. It's good to have the conversation. It's good to be back so we can have these kind of conversation, real thing, real issues we're looking at. And some of you are going to be raw, some are going to be direct, but you can learn from it. And that's what we're about to do. We want to big up our tech team. Yes, we want to big up our tech team. Our lone rangeress, in the building. Yes, our Minister Mundle, a wonderful woman of God. She's a technical guru behind the podcast, and of course, using StreamYard and all these things. She's a person, and so we sort of big her up and continue to pray her strength, and cover her too, and pray that God perfect all things concerning her. She's one of the good women like Mary. She will hear the good things. So in the event where when she decides to get married, yes, she will know exactly how to do what needs to be done to make that relationship work in the way it ought to work. Bless you, my good sir. Bless you, Sir Craig. Bless you, my good sir. And we'll see you again next week, next Sunday, at the same time. Come with your questions. Remember, one of the times we actually watch the show, because we're going to bring you on to have a conversation with us. All right? All right. We're looking forward to have a great time. Thank you so much. I think we have this nice little jingle, so you're going to hear it now, I suppose. Yes, man. And we'll still have some merch. And we want you to purchase the merch as well. Yes, given that